This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I'm Janbureh. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow on Saturday laid a foundation stone for the $27.8 million solar power project in Jamburr village in the West Coast region. The Independent Electoral Commission has organized training for the media and election observers ahead of the local government election. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Seedy Keita, has called on ECOWAS countries to invest more in people to strengthen economic infrastructures in order to support revenue performance. The FAO and partners on Thursday launched the Fish for ACP project, a global initiative supporting fishes and aquaculture value chains. And in international news, more than 11,000 Nigerians from the oil-producing Niger Delta have filed a compensation claim against Shell Energy Company at the London High Court. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Janjanbureh. Now, President Adama Barrow on Saturday laid the foundation stone for the 27.8.
As this project will transform the energy landscape of the country after its successful completion. Strategically, the implementation of this initiative is in line with our efforts to enhance our generation mix by transitioning from dependence on fossil-based to zero-carbon energy sources.
Abdoulaye Job, Minister for Energy, and Nani Juara, Managing Director of NAWEC, also spoke about the positive impact the project will have on the country's energy sector and how it ushers in a shift from the use of fossil fuel to reliable renewable energy. They also acknowledged the President's support and commended him for most of the transformation in the energy sector.
Comprises of the solar, the 225,000 volts transmission line that will connect Birkama to Jaban substation to be able to evacuate power that is transmitted through the OMVG line to the Gambia, and also has T&D improvements.
The objective of this project is to provide least cost generation capacity for NAWEC and to contribute to the Gambia's unwavering efforts in climate change mitigations.
Daniel Tang, the contractor, assures timely completion of the project and thanks the government for entrusting them with the implementation of this historic energy project.
We are applying the Chinese state-of-the-art equipment and the smart technology to the Gambia through this project. And we are confident that with close collaboration of the Gambian government, funders, NAWEC, owners, engineer, and the contractor, the project will be accomplished successfully and ultimately benefit the Gambian people, which is in line with the energy sector roadmap and the national development plan of His Excellency President Adama Barrow's administration.
Luca Plazato of the EU Investment Bank, Matar Toure, energy specialist at the World Bank Banjul office, Usman Bojang, Governor of the West Coast region, Haruna Bojang, Alcalo of Jamburr, and Edward Jata, project manager, all spoke highly of the project and expressed optimism that it will have a major impact on the country's energy sector. Officials also thanked property owners who offered their land for the implementation of the project. The property owners were compensated with about $30 million and over 40 plots of land. The project is expected to complete in 12 months. Answane Sonyasi for KTV.
Now, the Independent Electoral Commission has organized training for the media and election observers ahead of the local government elections scheduled for May and April this year. The training is aimed at engaging the participants on their role for a smooth, transparent, free and fair elections. Mahmoud Alamin Choi has more.
In this training, participants are provided with the knowledge and skills related to the election laws of the country and guidelines. Ali Mamanjai is the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission.
This training is an important aspect of the electoral process. The training is aimed at engaging the media and civil society organizations to enable them to effectively take on their roles and responsibilities in the electoral process. The IEC continues to make the clarion call that election is the business of all. In view of this, the Commission wishes to fully collaborate with all stakeholders in the electoral process. The Commission is committed to promoting and conducting free and fair elections based on democratic principles.
National elections are regarded as a complex process requiring the participation of a multitude of players. Significant among them are the media and civil society organizations who observe and report about the election process and its outcome to the public.
To the CSOs and the media, this is an opportunity for you to engage the IEC. Clear your doubts, engage them thoroughly, as well as understand the rules of proceedings during elections. The media and CSOs, especially the observers, should cover elections in a free, fair, and impartial manner. The media should focus in very important issues, on issues rather than sensationalizing issues.
CSOs must ensure there is an adequate regulatory framework for elections and civil participation, building upon the necessary capacities of public authorities and civil society to ensure free and fair elections and transparent engagement of citizens in the political decision-making processes.
The election observers at this training represent various civil society organizations in the country. A great number of them are members of the Civil Society Coalition on Elections, which was established to facilitate CSO participation in election, democracy, and good governance.
The media also plays a very important role in ensuring that we all contribute to the accuracy and transparency of the whole process. And being a member of the CSO coalition, we also observe the different processes involved in the election. So it is very important that they converge us all here to discuss on ways forward to avoid possible errors that may have tamper with the system.
The IEC organized this training taking into consideration that effective participation of the media and CSOs will help in facilitating transparent, free and fair election for the population. The local government elections are scheduled for 15th of April and 20th of May this year. It marks the end of the electoral cycle, which started in 2021. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now from that, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Seedy Keita, has called on ECOWAS countries to invest more in people to strengthen economic infrastructures in order to support revenue performance. He was speaking at the opening of the recently held West African Union of Tax Institutes International Conference held in the Gambia. And Smane Sonyasi has more.
His statement comes at a time when tax institutions within the ECOWAS region are advocating the broadening of the regional tax base in order to meet the development needs of the people. Economic infrastructure ensures labor mobility and is the main driver of economic advancement. It therefore stands to reason to encourage and stimulate people-centered investments in both public and private sectors.
As a low-income country, the Gambia and other regional countries suffer from large infrastructure deficits, and public expenditure in infrastructure must be carried to improve the factors of growth in order to support revenue, performance, and resilience. As the role of the taxation is revenue mobilization, it is important to ensure public investments do not further worsen the vulnerabilities in an already tight fiscal space characterized by low performance.
He further enjoined the low-income West African countries to exploit other income-generating opportunities, such as making use of technology to maximize revenue collection. This, he says, will help lessen the impact of the disruptions in the global supply chains and the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, which has had a huge impact on the global economy.
To combat such adverse effects, public policy should therefore focus on mobilizing tax revenue, rationalizing public expenditures to reduce debt vulnerabilities and build resilience and growth. One area that first to enhance public policy in response to the rising public expenditure is the use of information technology to support the digitalization of revenue administration and public management processes that rationalize the cost of public administration and improve the quality of public service delivery.
GRA Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo, who has been leading national efforts to digitalize all tax collection systems, also echoes the minister's statement. He says to address some of these economic challenges, ECOWAS countries must come together and work towards a better economic future for the region, adding that if united, Africa has the potential to achieve bigger things, especially for its youthful population.
By 2050, the African youth population will constitute about 20% of the global youth population. Today, more than 60% of Africa's population is under the age of 25, with 70% of sub-Saharan African under the age of 30. This could be a blessing or a curse. It could be a blessing if the African continent is able to stimulate the economy to give this youthful population the right economic environment to thrive and prosper.
Infrastructure development, according to the African Development Bank, is a key driver of progress across the African continent and a critical enabler for productivity and sustainable economic growth. It contributes significantly to human development, poverty reduction, and the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Africa's youthful population is indeed a blessing or a curse. Now, from that, we will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more local news stories for you as well as international news. Do stay tuned.
amna lu manqué de lu manqué armanti mayonnaise amul duma lek ma ngi ñëw man ma jégi armanti ah noko gisé safna neexna ndax mom ci armanti mayonnaise ak sauce boko ci def rek da fay neex ni la armanti mayonnaise ren la am 28 years wow ta cafka mosul ci tegon tankam fala ko tek ba tay man mak armanti dama ko min yalla dafa dogal armanti dafa don sama xarit
yeen jéegi réew mi neena leen ñaar fukki at ak juroom ñett du fukki at ak juroom ñett de du ay fodde mala ñu wax li duggu leen ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique ci biir réew mi amna 500 ml 1000 ml ak 5 kg li ci gëna té dakh moy def leen indil 25 gram moy ciati mayonnaise bi amna margarine bota amna bota ice am corned beef bu yap ak bu ginar amna sardine ak banana milk armanti dal dafa compléter lépp ngir noppal jéeg yi seen biir waay
armanti product the good quality food
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Janjanbureh Sonko. Now, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and its partners on Thursday launched the Fish for ACP project, a global initiative supporting fisheries and aquaculture value chains in Africa, the Caribbean, and the Pacific, according to the FAO. Lena E. Igwenyiba has more.
The project, funded by the EU and the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, would promote the development of mangrove oyster production and its byproducts, focusing on small and medium-sized businesses, women and youth. Moshibidi Rampidi is the FAO Gambia representative.
The program illustrates FAO's support to the Gambia to transform aquatic food systems into engines of employment and social development by improving working conditions, especially for women.
Fish for ACP aims to tackle some of the underlying challenges in building sustainable fisheries and aquaculture. Such challenges as low economic performance, limited market access, and poor social and environmental sustainability. Fanta Samate, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources, expressed appreciation and thanked the donors for a great initiative.
The Fisheries and Water Resources is highly indebted to the European Union and the German Federation Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, that's BMZ, for the unflinching support both have been provided to the ministry for providing the €4 million funding for this years from 2022 to 2025.
Evangelina Blanco Gonzalez, Program Manager for the EU delegation to the Gambia, is optimistic about the prospects of the strategy.
I reiterate, it has been developed by you, the local stakeholders. It will be implemented by you according to measurable goals, and you are committing together to monitor its implementation. We do encourage you to make the best use of the real potential of the shellfish sector.
Moshibidi Rampidi speaks on the economic importance of the oyster value chain project.
The in-shell production in the Gambia was estimated at about 8,000 tons. The total sales of around 300 tons a year of processed oysters may generate sales value of about $80 million. This clearly demonstrates the economic contribution of the oyster value chain.
The event concluded with local authorities and beneficiaries showing commitment through a joint declaration to support the implementation of the 10-year strategic plan. According to the Secretary General of the OACPS, this much-needed initiative will unlock the potential of fisheries and aquaculture in ACP regions. And the EU Commissioner for Maritime Affairs and Fisheries says that the focus on all three aspects of sustainability, the economic, the environmental, and the social, sets Fish for ACP apart. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
Now, from that brilliant initiative, let's take a look at women vendors in Janjanbureh have revealed to QTV that they are struggling to keep up with their businesses as business is moving, but at a very slow pace. Lola M. Camara has more.
Women vendors in this market who are trying to keep their businesses alive blame the slow sales on the high cost of food items. Ami Jata, who has been in business for many years, highlights and contrasts their current situation with what it was like 10 years ago. I came from Senegal and decided to buy a few items like earrings, bangles and makeup items just to start with. And that was from the money I received from my host. Upon selling the first batch, I made a profit. Then I would go back to get more. But then, business was booming. Nyima Jara and Fatou Keita are both vendors. Explain how they have been managing their businesses. I have been in this market all my life. But it is harder for us now than it was like few years back. I am suggesting to the current government that they should intervene, as used to happen before, to help citizens and business people. I would like to plead with the government to look into our welfare, as this is our source of living, and we have children to take care of. Apart from that, we have few challenges here too, which include water shortage, as the only tap we have here is broken. If we want to wash our vegetables, we have to go to the river to do that, which is difficult and not as hygienic. Another vendor to see her frustration is Fatou Fofana. As you can see, this is the toilet that we have inside the market. We have to use it in this state. We have reported the matter to the area council, but still nothing has changed. I am appealing to the authorities responsible to step in and help. Fatou Sise, a vendor, says she has had to cope with the business alone since she lost her husband 10 years ago. According to her, doing this business is the only support system for her and her children. Adama Tanjai, another vendor, told us she does this business to keep herself busy, but there is not much profit gained from the business. Despite what we heard from all these women, they don't want to believe all is lost and hope things will change soon, as this is their livelihood. Responding to some of the issues raised by the vendors, this was what the CEO of Janjanbureh Area Council have to say.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lolly, for those observations. I think it's their democratic right, at least to point out their views concerning the Janjanbureh Area Council. As you may be aware, I took office in 2021 around March, where I found the market was totally dilapidated. They are right when they say that. But there are some reforms and some things going on in the market. Because there was no doors at the market. But all doors are being fixed now. And I think there is also a very big renovation ongoing at the toilet facilities. We already have spent almost $135,000 on the renovations. But we are yet to get water from NAEC. That's why we didn't open the toilet to the public. Council is out for the people, and we know we are facing some financial constraints. But nevertheless, we'll try and do our best.
For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
We hope the situation changes for those women. Now let's take a look at news beyond our borders. More than 11,000 residents, 17 institutions, including churches and schools, from the oil-producing Niger Delta have filed a compensation claim at the High Court in London for damage and loss of livelihoods against Shell, one of the world's largest energy companies. Alusise has more.
The plaintiffs filed the claim on Thursday, according to Lee Day, the UK law firm representing them. The plaintiffs are the Ogale and Bile communities in the Niger Delta. The claims said oil spills resulting from Shell's operations in the Niger Delta have destroyed farms, contaminated drinking water, and harmed aquatic life. According to analysts, the case will test whether multinational corporations can be held liable for the deeds of their foreign subsidiaries. In 2021, the UK Supreme Court permitted a group of 42,500 Nigerian farmers and fishermen to sue Shell in English courts. According to the judges at the time, Shell could be held accountable for the oil spills because it has significant control over its Nigerian subsidiary. Shell is one of the world's biggest energy companies, which declared profits of more than $30 billion for the first 3 quarters of 2022. Its spokesperson said the majority of the oil spills related to Ogale and Bile claims were caused by illegal third-party interference, including pipeline sabotage. Oil spills, sometimes due to vandalism or corrosion, are said to be common in the Niger Delta. A report by the University of St. Gallen in Switzerland found that infants in the Niger Delta were twice as likely to die in their first month of life if their mothers lived near an oil spill. In 2020 and 2021, Nigeria's National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency recorded 822 combined oil spills, totaling 28,003 barrels of oil spilled in the environment. Shell was culpable for most of them, residents said, but the company often blames sabotage for the spills. The average life expectancy in the region is 41 years, 10 years lower than the national average. The case is taking place as the oil giant prepares to leave the Niger Delta after more than 80 years of operations. According to the law firm representing the plaintiffs, the next stage of the case is for a case management hearing to be set in spring 2023 ahead of full trial, which is likely to occur in 2024. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alusise.
Unfortunate situation there. Now, before we leave, let's recap our main headlines. President Adama Barrow on Saturday laid the foundation stone for the $27.8 million solar power plant in Jamburr village in the West Coast region. The Independent Electoral Commission has organized training for the media and election observers ahead of the local government election. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Seedy Keita, has called on ECOWAS countries to invest more in people to strengthen economic infrastructures in order to support revenue performance. The FAO and partners on Thursday launched the Fish for ACP project, a global initiative supporting fisheries and aquaculture value chains. In international news, more than 11 Nigerians from the oil-producing Niger Delta have filed a compensation claim against Shell Energy Company at the London High Court for damage and loss of livelihoods. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for the Week in Review. Bye for now.